Okay, getting started off in child's pose. Come on down with that forehead. And start to take a moment just to relax here, like a little wiggle in the hips. Start to slow down your breath and just enjoy being still and notice where you are. Notice how you're feeling. Expand and contract your rib cage and your belly to the max. You want to feel a lot of freedom in your back and your front. And hopefully with each breath, you feel a little more freedom in your low back. Any tension you feel in your hip creases is hopefully draining out. And I want to take a little more time just to breathe here and be aware. And we're just going to take a little time to become intensely aware of all your senses. So blink your eyes open just a little bit, just a little crack, just so you can let a sliver of light through. And gaze at what you can see, which is probably the floor at this point. And while your brain might immediately kick in and begin to label what you see, floor, mat, pink, blue, nose, hair, knees, see if you could step away from those labels and just sink into the sensory experience of sight. What do you experience simply by opening your eyes and receiving that visual input? And then I invite you to close your eyes and continue to receive visual sensory input. Noticing that very special, warm, dark gray color behind your eyelids. And then draw your awareness to the sense of hearing. Okay. Noticing every little sound in your environment right now. Notice the sound of your own breath. How does it sound coming in? How does it sound going out? And again here, although your brain may label things, higher pitched, lower pitched, good sound, bad sound, allow those things to be as they are, and then step away from that thinking, that labeling, to enjoy just experiencing the sensation of sound. How does your brain receive that sensory input? Let's bring awareness now to taste, your sense of taste. And while you're probably not eating anything right now, You can still gather sensory information from your taste buds. Notice different areas of your tongue. Notice the tip of your tongue. What kind of sensory information are you receiving there? Notice the sides, the middle, the back. Think about the different parts of your tongue. Okay, we're bringing awareness now to touch, feel. Feel where you are in space. Feel your body touching the floor. Notice the particular weight of your body on your knees, on your forehead. See if you could become aware of how the places on the back of your neck feel, behind your ear, between your toes. Just diving into what is the experience of sensation? And from here, we'll start to bring in a little gentle movement. So bring your hands up underneath your shoulders. And we were in this child's pose for quite a while, so press yourself up until you're up in a seat again. And we'll just take a little bit of gentle movement here just to start to wake up and kind of twist upper body. So you could continue to sit on your heels, or if that's uncomfortable, please feel free to change your posture. But with your hands on your knees, you can even separate your knees. We're just gonna roll the upper body forward and back. Just getting some good side to side movement. Forward and back movement. And let's take it around the other way. Roll it back to the side. Okay, bring it back to center. We're gonna get a little side bendy here. So walking your left fingertips out to the left. Let's get that right hand up overhead, reaching out to the left. Big breath in while you do this, and exhale to bring it down. Let's switch sides. Inhale, left fingers up, right fingers down. Exhale to bring it down. Side to side, a few more times. Just like this. And then I want to kind of build on this movement and open it up a little bit. So as you get a little bit more spacious and warm in that side body, maybe next time you take your fingers down on one side, you bring them a little bit back behind you. You can lift your hips here. And we want to think of a big movement out to one side, lifting the hips. So switching sides, other hand a little bit behind you, big lifting hips, side bend. So we're opening up front body, side body, using the glutes and your hamstrings to lift you up. Maybe a few more breaths like this. Doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be really tiny and subtle. Only one more on each side. And bring it on back. Next time you come around front, we'll bring the hands out in front and find hands and knees. So from a hands and knees posture, let's get the right leg out behind. And we'll bend that right knee, point the toes up at the ceiling. And make sure the toes point straight up and they don't drift to point to the left because we want a really nice internal rotation in that hip. So we need to make sure that we have that toe pointed up, okay? And let's also keep a little lift in the belly button toward the spine so that the low back is supported. Grip the mat nice and strong. And just like we're doing a cat-cow, with your inhale, pull your heart forward, lift that belly button, and think of pointing that right toe toward the back of your head. So just like a cow pose. With your exhale, just like a cat pose, push the mat away and draw that right knee to your nose. Let's do that again. Inhale, heart pulls forward, long neck, lifted belly. And exhale, rounded spine. Push that floor. One more. Inhale, lift, point that toe at the back of your head, and let's hold right here. So you're pulling on the mat, you're pointing that toe at your head. Remember to breathe, okay? Keep that belly button lifted. Maybe one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, pull that knee, that right knee towards your nose. We're rounding the spine. Hold and breathe right here. Let your head hang. You can shake it out. Maybe one more breath here. And let it go. Okay, and we're going to switch sides. But first, I want to get us off our wrists for a little bit. So tuck your toes. Lift your knees. We'll walk the hands back to the feet a little bit and just take a little hang time. So put a nice bend in your knees, friends. Maybe grab your elbows. Should feel nice to let your low back just hang. And if you want to try to equalize the weight between the front and the back of your foot, notice how that feels. If you notice that your weight tends to just rock back into your heels, try to rock it into the front a little bit too. All right, we're going to come back down to our knees. So as you're ready, hands are down, walking it forward. I'll meet you back on hands and knees. So let's do the other side. So just like we did before, this time the left leg will be the bent one. And double check. Make sure that left toe points straight up at the ceiling. Okay? We want to make sure that hip is internally rotating. And we have a lift in the belly button, so put a strong wrap around your low back. Grab that mat with your hands. Pull the heart forward on your inhale. That toe morphs toward the back of your head. And exhale. Push the floor, knee to nose. Rounded spine. Let's do that again. So inhale, extended spine, pull on the mat. And exhale, rounded spine. One more time, we'll hold it this time. So inhale, pull that toe toward the back of your head. Feel a nice release across the front of your body and that left hip. One more big breath in. And exhale, rounded spine. Pull that left knee to your nose. Hold and breathe. Nice breath in. Nice breath into the back of the heart. One more here. And let that go. Okay, let's come back up to forward fold one more time. Just let that spine hang. So tuck your toes, lift your knees, hands walk back to feet. Take a moment to really shake it out here. Let your head hang. You might grab your elbows. You might like to join your hands behind your back here and move them away from you. And from here, we're going to roll it all the way up. So release your hands, press into your heels, and inhale to roll yourself. You're stacking your vertebrae, coming all the way up. Go ahead and reach up tall when you get there. Then exhale, hinge at your hips. We're going to roll it all the way down. We're going to take a really slow little vinyasa, okay? So inhaling, walk your hands forward. I want you to drop your knees, okay? Pull the elbows in as you exhale and lower your body all the way down. Keep that tailbone pointing down as you inhale. Lift your heart. You're pulling your heart up and forward to make a big open cobra chest. And exhale, drop that cobra heart, tuck your toes up through hands and knees. Okay, we're gonna do it again. So tuck your toes, lift the knees, hands walk back to your feet. Inhale, roll it on up, lift that heart up high. Let's do it again. Exhale, hinge at your hips all the way down. Palms are down. Inhaling, walking it forward to a knee down on the floor plank. Exhaling, elbows in all the way down. Inhale for a little cobra. Think of pulling your heart up and forward as your tailbone points down. And exhale. Tuck your toes up through hands and knees. Okay? And then I want you to walk your hands all the way back to your feet. And we'll do that one more time, okay? Just like that. Inhale, roll it up. Super slow, gentle vinyasa, just to get our joints warm. Exhale, hinge it down. Palms are down. Inhaling, walk it forward to a knee plank, super gentle. Okay, exhaling all the way down, elbows in. Cobra on your inhale, heart up, tailbone down. Hands and knees on your exhale. And I'll meet you in another forward fold. All right, take your feet kind of wide here. Okay, maybe mat width would be great. And put a nice bend in your knees so your hips come down. One hand can come to each knee. And you can bring yourself up to a really wide kind of supported squat, okay? So I want you to feel here that as your hands press down on your knees, you have a really long spine. So your neck is long, your shoulder blades are moving down, okay? And we're gonna give you a little twist, a little massage in your spine here. So keep your arms strong and inhale with your longest spine. With your exhale, you're gonna drop that left shoulder and look over the right. So hopefully feel a nice twist in your spine. Inhale back through center. And exhale, drop the right shoulder. Look over the left. And let's do that a few more times. Inhale through center and exhale to the side. So if you want, you can widen your feet here. Take the feet a little wider. It's really kind of up to you. Maybe 2 or 3 times on each side. I want to feel some really nice opening in that rib cage. You might get some cracks and popples. Maybe one more on each side. Okay, keep the neck long. Okay, you come on back through center here. And then I'm just gonna have you turn your toes out away from each other. Feel free to adjust the width between your feet, but drop your hips down into a squat. So we have made it down into a squat. Probably gonna have to make the feet narrower, okay? So I like to have a little turnout in the toes, okay? Just to make it a little easier, but you're thinking of giving yourself just enough turnout, just as much as you need, not a whole lot more, okay? So palms together, let's see if we can get the elbows between the knees, and maybe we'll start to activate the legs and try to move the knees away from each other. Nice long spine here. Building warmth in these hips. For 3 more breaths, we'll stay right here. Okay, maybe 2 more breaths. Keep those legs active. Pushing down into the heels. 1 more big breath. Nice work, yogis. Hands down in front. Go ahead and lift your hips. And then walk your hands forward. I'll meet you back in a hands and knees. All right, so we built a lot of warmth in the joints, in the hips and shoulders. And now we get to take advantage of that warmth and let go of any tension that we might find. So bring that right foot forward by your right hand. Okay, and I just want to rock and roll forward and back a few times. Let's make sure we put a really nice flex in that right foot when we pull it back. So really flex the foot. So we want to imagine opening up any extra space in this right hamstring and glute. And we also want to invite a little extra space into this left hip flexor. Next time you have come back into your lunge, let's hold here. And we'll activate this lunge from this really low position that we have. So if you need to come up on your fingertips, or even if you have some blocks here, that's totally fine. But I just want you to find some stability and some settling in feeling here. So your hands are firmly on something, your neck is long, and you're able to intentionally press down through your feet and your legs, I should say, pressing down through your legs. And once you've really activated that strong, stable leg feeling, then you'll start to draw that right knee inward towards your armpit, okay, toward that right armpit. Maybe we want to come down to 1 or 2 elbows. But keep that right knee drawing in and resist the floor. Nice breath here in your lizard lunge. So feel free to let your head hang. Let that neck completely let go. But we want to make sure if you let your head hang, can you keep a long neck? Okay, can you keep that shoulder away from your ears? Right, from your lizard posture, I'm going to offer you another little tool you can play around with. So if your elbows are on the floor, you can keep them down. You can do also this from your hands. So hands or elbows are great. Keeping that right knee turning inward a little bit, so pulling inward towards you. I want you to look over toward the right. Maybe use this right hand and take it all the way behind you, like you're reaching back. Okay, and as a matter of fact, if you could, bend that left knee and kick the left heel for your left glute. Let's do it a couple more times. Extend the left knee, bend the left knee, kick for your glute. One more time, extend and bend. And then if you can grab that foot, great. If you can't, that's really no problem at all. Just reach for it and breathe. Okay. If you got that foot, awesome. See if you can pull it in towards your glute. Maybe roll around on the bottom part of your left quadriceps, the top of your thigh. Okay. And let's call this a twisted lizard. Okay. So this is like your lizard tail back here. I just want you to take a few more breaths here, enjoying this posture, allowing your hips to open up toward the ground. How about one more breath right here? Release that back leg. We're going to take the hands down in front. So if you were on your elbows. Come back up on your hands here. Let's send it back through hands and knees. Back through hands and knees. And if you'll tuck your toes here, I'll meet you in a fold at the back of your space. Come on back. Take a little moment just to hang. So take several breaths here. Notice if the back of the right leg feels any different than the left. Notice the back of your neck. And we'll go through that little flow. Okay, remember that little flow we did before. So inhaling, roll yourself up. Lift your heart. Maybe a little back bend. Just like we did before, exhale and fold. Hinge at your hips. Your palms come down. Inhale and walk yourself forward to a knee plank. So kind of a gentle plank. And exhale to lower your chest. All right, inhale for your cobra. Tailbone points down, heart pulls up. And exhale up through hands and knees. And back to that forward fold. Take a moment here, maybe joining your hands behind you and getting that great stretch across the front of your shoulders. As you are ready, we're going to do the other side. So walk your hands back to hands and knees. Walk it forward, hands and knees. This time we'll take the left foot forward by the left hand. And let's rock and roll the hips a little bit forward and back. Put a nice flex in that left foot when you pull back, getting a big opening in the back of the left leg. Notice where you feel that. Check out the front of the right hip as well. Okay, now let's just dive into this lunge, this lizard lunge here. So hands under your shoulders, and let's activate the legs. So we know we want a little bit of activation. It doesn't really have to be a lot at all. Okay. And then we'll start to draw that left knee inward. So the left knee kind of wants to be in your armpit. And keep that sense of drawing inward with it. Maybe you'd like to drop 1 or 2 elbows, although it's really not necessary, okay? It's only if it feels right. Let the head fall. Let your neck relax. So we're bringing ourselves in the direction of a twisted lizard. So feel free to stay right here if you're perfectly happy and you don't really want to leave, no problem. But if you want to twist it, you'll start shifting your weight over into your right elbow or hand, depending on what you have on the floor, looking over to the left, okay? And we'll take the left hand behind, like you're reaching for something behind you. And as a matter of fact, let's bend the right knee, kick the right heel in for the glute, and then extend the knee again. 2 more times. Bend it in, and extend. 1 more time, and let's hold it. Bend it in and extend. Now let's see if we can grab the foot. Okay, some days it works, some days it doesn't. So don't feel bad if today's not that day. It's really fine. So take your time here. We want to think of rolling out the top edge of the thigh at the very bottom. So just above where all those muscles attach to your kneecap. We can roll that out and Hopefully get some good stretchy feels. And as you're ready to let go of twisted lizard, release that tail back there, all hands down in front. And we want to come back up. From here, we'll meet back on hands and knees. And once again, tuck your toes, bring yourself all the way back and up to that forward fold. So come on back. And each time we come back here, maybe you can notice, is anything different? How do the backs of the legs feel now? How's my low back feeling? Things like that are so important. You can notice how the practice is affecting whole body. So from here, let's take that little vinyasa one more time, nice and slow. Inhaling, press into your heels, roll yourself up. Make a tiny, tiny back bend up top. Then exhale to hinge yourself all the way down. Palms come down. We're inhaling to walk it forward to a knee plank. Exhaling all the way down. Inhale for a cobra, heart up. And exhale. Hands and knees, tuck your toes back in that forward fold. All right, this will be our last standing forward fold. We've been here several times. Hopefully it feels really nice. So go ahead and bring your feet really close together. Put a little space between your heels. And I want you to be supported. So if you need to bend your knees to put your palms or your fingertips down, go ahead and do it. But make sure you can support yourself here, okay? And I just want you to pick up your left foot and cross it over to the other side of your right. So your ankles are crossed. And you might need to bend your knees a little bit, okay? No problem. But we want those palms, or at very least the fingertips, on the floor. And let's walk the hands over to the left. So all the fingers point to the left. And we're just going to breathe here. Hopefully that outer hip is feeling some good feels, good release. So you can stay here. You can think about maybe extending your ankles or your knees a little bit to open up the backs of the legs more. Or you can walk your fingers so that they all point at the back of the mat. And that's going to give you more twist, more opening in that right side. But I just want to remind you here to let your head hang. Sometimes I see people doing this and they're trying to lift their head to look around and it looks so uncomfortable. Just let your head hang. Okay, we're going to come through center and do the other side. So hands back through center. Uncross your ankles and we're doing the other side. So this time the right ankle is crossing over to the left. We're going to walk hands over to the right. So all fingers point to the right. And maybe you just work on getting your palms down. Maybe you'd like to extend a knee or two. Or maybe the fingers are going to walk to point at the back of the mat. No matter what you are working on, hang that head. And breathe. And remind yourself to have a good time. You can always take a break. Maybe one more big breath in here. And walk the hands back around front. Take the feet back to normal. And from here, bend your knees so much that you can have a seat. Come on down. Shake out your legs. All right, hopefully those hips and legs are feeling a lot more relaxed than when we started. Hips and shoulders, low back, upper back. Nice work. All right, from here, tuck your hands behind your knees. See if you could slow motion roll down, okay? So we're really rolling the spine down. For extra challenge, float your hands. Take as long as you can. One vertebra at a time comes down. And finally, when your head lands, bring your knees up by your chest. We're going to grab one knee in each hand and roll out the hips. So make circles with your knees. And make sure you reverse them. And then we'll keep the right knee. We're going to keep it. Right hand on right knee. Release the left leg to the ground. So we'll start by taking the right arm on the inside of the right knee. And then flip your palm so that you can grab your shin. And you can just experiment with pulling that right knee down towards your right armpit so that hopefully you feel some release in your right hip crease. If that's fine and you feel like you want to go more deeply into that feeling, you can reach your hand for the outer edge of your right foot. I like to do thumb and bunny fingers around my right big toe. So try that. You can loop that big toe. So however you've chosen to grab your left leg is perfect. You've got it. Okay, you're starting to ground your shoulder blades. And I want you to extend your right knee so that the foot presses up to the ceiling, but you're only going to extend it as much as feels good. It's going to be different for everyone. You might keep a deep bend in it as you experiment with the back of the leg, just kind of opening up. If the back of the leg is feeling pretty great, you might extend the leg fully. Just make sure it feels right. Ground the shoulder blades. And with control, allow that right leg to slowly drop out to the right. So there's really no rush, and you don't have to go all the way down. Just figure out where you want it. Maybe you bend the knee. Maybe you put your hand somewhere else on the leg. But make sure that left hip stays down on the ground, okay? We're going to take a few breaths here, allowing that right hip to open up to the sky. You can always change the right leg, okay? You can bend it. Allow your eyes to close here. Allow your breath start to really slow down. Let's lift the right leg back up into center. We're keeping the right leg, okay? We're gonna switch hands. So now the left, either left thumb and bunny finger loop the right toe. We can grab the outside of the foot. We can grab the shin. Same places apply, okay? We can bend it or not. We're gonna let the right leg fall to the left. Again, it doesn't have to go all the way down. Go ahead and take your right arm out to the right like a cactus arm. And breathe deeply into this big, yummy twist. So lift your chest up off the floor for your inhales. And ground your shoulder blades on the exhales. Maybe one more breath here. One more big, luxurious, long spine breath. And we're bringing the right leg back up and into center. So bring it up and in. We're going to release it. So bend the right knee. Release the right leg to the floor. Now let's do all that on the other side. So it's really the same idea. We're taking the left knee in. We'll take the left hand on the inside of the left knee. We can grab the shin, the outer edge of the foot, or we can do thumb and bunny fingers around the big toe. It's really up to you guys. Okay, we're gonna start extending the knee. Find something that feels good. It feels right, never painful. Okay, and keeping that right hip on the floor, allow that left leg to drop out to the left. Okay, we'll take a few breaths here. Big spaciousness in the hip, in the low back. Your eyes are closed, allowing your body to really cool down, slow down here. Any last little shreds of tension draining out. Let's lift the left leg carefully back through center and switch hands. So right hand now grabs the toe, foot, or shin. It's up to you. We're gonna send this left leg out to the right now in a twist. So to make it as twisty as we can, we're looking to the left with a left cactus arm. Big chest on the inhale. Shoulder blades down on the exhale. Maybe 3 or 4 more breaths like this. Take your time bringing that left leg back, up and in. Bend that knee and let it go. Okay, you have arrived at your final resting posture. So get yourself into your Shavasana with long arms and legs, or another comfy resting posture of your choosing. I recommend a little tuck in your chin so the back of your neck feels uncreased. And then release all control over your breath. Release all sense of doing or effort in your body. Notice the swirlings of your mind with amusement and bring your awareness back to this moment again and again. Feeling the breath come and go, just as passively, like waves on a beach, like wind in the trees. Please keep resting like this as long as you can. This is where I'll leave you for our practice today. And thanks so much for joining me.